It's safe to say now that the next year of this game is going to look very different from what we first thought. If you haven't heard, first of all, get out from under the rock that you're living under. But second, Epic has now officially confirmed that we're going back. Again. Yes, in today's video, we will be discussing Epic Games bringing back Chapter 1 again, and how I think this has potential to really hurt the game. Not necessarily kill, but seriously hurt it. Yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting this, but out of nowhere, we were told that we would be going back to Chapter 1 once again. But there are a couple key differences that need to be addressed here between Fortnite OG and what Epic is calling the second time around Fortnite OG? I don't really know, man. The first difference is the length of time we will be experiencing this map. The original OG lasted about a month, so we kind of assumed that OG mini-seasons would all last this long. Nope. Try 10 times that. And apparently it will move through all 10 seasons that the original Chapter 1 had on a monthly basis, as opposed to the unfinished versions of seasons 5 through 10 in the original OG. And for the most important key difference, if you haven't put it together, we will be having Chapter 1 for essentially all of 2025, alongside Chapter 6, Fortnite Reload, and whatever other new game modes that clown Tim Sweeney approves, all going on simultaneously. Now, I can already smell you uneducated Epic Glazers in the comments. Ugh, this guy just won't stop complaining. They add back OG for a year and he's still crying. Yeah, if that's you, which I know you're out there, you simply misunderstood my opinion on Fortnite's current state and where it's heading. But don't worry, I don't mind re-explaining everything for you. When we got OG a year ago, going back to Chapter 1 fully replaced Battle Royale for a month, and that was fine because nearly everyone was excited for this and wanted it back, once again referring to Epic's peak all-time player count during this month. But now, with OG returning once again, it is not replacing the Battle Royale playlist in-game. It is being added in addition to it, and as exciting and flashy as this sounds, I just struggle to see how this is good for the health of Battle Royale in the long term. Chapter 5 was undoubtedly the most controversial chapter we've ever had, and in turn made it the most hated chapter of Fortnite to date. So instead of Epic seeing all of this mostly negative feedback on their main game mode and trying to take a step back and see where they went wrong and how they can fix things to make it more enjoyable, they just throw what they already know works at us in 10 times its length to keep their player count up. It's so utterly predictable and cowardly of this company to do, man. Seriously. I want to make this next point clear. I'm speaking for myself here. As much as I have loved and still love Chapter 1, I do not want it to be around as a semi-permanent game mode, because this is just going to take away from the nostalgia and specialness of it, and most importantly, Epic is not working on their issue of making Battle Royale feel more akin to the core values of what made Fortnite, Fortnite. I don't even know what to expect for Chapter 6 at this point. If you watched my video about what happened to Fortnite, you would understand that it really feels like history is repeating itself with this decision. In that video, I claimed that the only reason Epic brought back Chapter 1 when they did was because they knew that Chapter 5 was going to be the most different and possibly controversial chapter of all time, which ended up being the case. Fast forward and we reach the present day, where the exact same thing is happening. However, this time, to avoid the laughable drop-off in player count between the last 48 hours of OG and day 1 of Chapter 5, Epic is re-releasing OG nearly alongside Chapter 6 and keeping it around for a whole year. I really hate to just keep making myself out to be this bad guy who is just complaining all the time, but it gets so hard to not talk about it when Epic just can't seem to take even a baby step in the right direction. This is why I started making these videos in the first place. I want Chapter 6 to thrive and prove myself and everyone else wrong about Battle Royale, and for Epic to show us that they've still got it. But man, with this news, it is just not shaping up to look that way. I could be completely wrong, you know. Chapter 6 and Chapter 1 OG coexisting for a year together might work perfectly. And if that's the case, then great. I don't want to see this game crash and burn. But dividing your players among even more core game modes is a risky move to say the least, and could promote even more laziness in the quality of work being put into certain game modes, like Battle Royale. I hope somehow I'm wrong about this. Now, I want to talk about a few more things regarding this return of OG. I will absolutely be playing Chapter 1, like, of course I am, that goes without saying. I'm so curious to see what all they're going to do, and how being on the island for a year, roughly 5 years after it ended, is going to be. But at the same time, I want to be there for the new Chapter 6 seasons, and to see where all that goes. And if there's going to be some sort of tie-in with the story between the Chapter 1 and Chapter 6 map, both being playable at the same time. Who knows? You know, I really feel like that phrase just sums up everything about Fortnite nowadays. Who flippin' knows? One of the biggest things that people are worried about with this return of OG is the possible return of OG Battle Passes and their cosmetics. There really is not much to say about this topic for me. If Epic brings back the original skins from Chapter 1 Battle Passes, I will lose basically all remaining respect for this company that I have. It is the most greedy and dishonoring thing you can do to the players that loved and believed in your game all the way when you were still establishing yourself. They invested back then because they enjoyed it. And if you think giving an exclusive edit style to these cosmetics is enough to justify this extremely $ for eyes decision, you are just too far gone. I really hope they do not do this, and that they just continue to make remix skins instead. It's one thing when you lock a collab cosmetic behind a battle pass, and bringing those back is something I couldn't care less about. But the original 10 battle passes that established this game and its cosmetics should be left untouched and kept sacred. I don't even have every battle pass cosmetic from Chapter 1, and I'm perfectly fine with this. I don't want them. I didn't put in the time to play and earn them back then, so how on earth is it fair to the people that did for me to just swoop in and spend a couple bucks to buy it? I am with the people that are against this idea of bringing back old battle passes, because it is greedy and dishonoring to the fans that were supporting Epic from the beginning. Gosh, it really is sad. Epic is not even trying to mask their laziness anymore, and I want you guys to understand something. I live for nostalgia. I love the feeling that nostalgia gives me, and not even just in the video game scene, but in life in general. And yet, as a nostalgia lover and someone who's very fond of Chapter 1, I don't want it back permanently because that is just not the best decision for this game's long-term health. I don't want to go back to what a lot of people call prime Fortnite. I want Epic to remember their core elements that made Fortnite into the game that everyone loved back then, but instead of just throwing us back to where it all started, create something new with some of those defining qualities that have been missing from BR for the last year and a half now. Make a new chapter that is capable of rivaling your past chapters instead of just giving us the old ones themselves. I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself here, but I think you get the point. Again, I will be playing Chapter 1, of course, but I am not as over the moon for it as everyone else. I don't want Chapter 1 to lose what makes it special in my memory, and I want to experience what Chapter 6 has to offer. Before this announcement, I feel like we had a very rough idea of what the game was going to look like in this next year. But in just a few short weeks as things were leaked and announced, there really is no telling of what crazy move Epic will pull next. Me using the word crazy there isn't in a positive or negative light. You can decide for yourself how you feel about the decision. Needless to say, I am so curious to see how this next year of Fortnite pans out. But until then, we'll just have to wait and see. By the time this video is posted, I will officially have channel memberships available. Your support means the world to me, and even if that's just by watching and liking the video, it is greatly appreciated. If you would like to take your support a step further, all of the membership info will be below in that join button. I will be adding more perks and incentives for becoming a channel member as time goes on, but as of right now, by becoming a member, you will receive an exclusive role in my brand new Discord server. I will have the link to that in the description and pinned in the comments as well. The first 50 people to join the server will also receive special OG roles, so go try and claim those before they're all gone. As always, all of my socials, including my Twitch, are linked below, so please go follow all of those. And I seriously appreciate all of the support on my videos over the last few weeks. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good one. Peace.